Bases drop for Thursday Thoughts here on Soccer's Morning Show. John here, you there. Thanks for coming in as you always do. 24, well, not quite 365, but 24/7, 365 here on the SDH Network. Thursday Thoughts means we know what hour number 2 is. Hour number 2, we go fully loaded with our buddy Nino Torres at Goal TV. And I know that he wants to talk about one particular Peruvian soccer club. I know we got to talk about that. I know we've got to talk about the league that he covers in Portugal and what happened with Sporting and Manchester City and the idea of Ruben Amorim and heading to Manchester United, and it's the second coming of Sir Alex Ferguson, all that kind of stuff. And whatever else is on Nino's mind, we'll talk about that first half hour. Second half hour is our buddy Niko Moreno from Pulso Sports on the Soccer Bar. We're going to talk playoffs. We'll get his thoughts on what happened, specifically in the Western Conference, Seattle and Houston. We got a lot to talk about there. We talked about it on Monday, but I wanted to get Niko's reaction to it and the refereeing and everything else as we go through and discuss what happened there. We'll talk about it more in hour number 1 because of news in Major League Soccer. We'll get into that too. So it's playoffs with Niko for Thursdays with Niko. It is Round the World and being fully loaded with Nino. That's hour number 2. Hour number 1 is us. We got to talk about the news that came out last night in the Western Conference about Jarrett's Quakes. We have to talk about what happened in Houston. And if you missed Jason's appearance on Soccer Matters with our buddy Glenn Davis, then I would recommend that you go back and listen to what Jason had to say with Glenn. And if you have time on a regular basis, or if you're just out messing around and can't listen to it live, listen to Glenn's show. It's a great piece of insight from one of the cool dudes when it comes to the sport here in Major League Soccer. So Jason caught up with Glenn, or Glenn caught up with Jason, however you want to phrase it. And that is up and running as well. If you follow Jason on social media, you've got the links. Follow Glenn also on social media. Soccer Matters, Glenn Davis. You can catch up with them. But Jason was on with Glenn last night. Show is up in podcast form, so you can go ahead and listen to that replay from our friends at 97.5 in Houston. So we got to talk San Jose. We got to talk Houston. We got news of the morning. We got what happened in Champions League yesterday, setting the table up for Europa League today, going through all the juice boxes, gossip, rumor, and innuendo. Before hour number 2 is Nino and Niko, as it traditionally is. Okay. So morning to 4-card, morning to pars. And I am incredibly remiss because yesterday, and I'm going to go ahead and make up for this right now, I forgot to say hi to everybody yesterday. So I have to be more vigilant about that. So hi, Jordan from yesterday. Hi, Wiley from yesterday. Let me see if I can slide up here. Hi, Michael from yesterday. Hi, Pars from yesterday. Hi, Abby from yesterday. We got into the great stadium discussion yesterday too. So Abby and Pars and Sharif and hi to everybody that was here yesterday and hi to everybody that's here today. And I will be more vigilant about saying hi as we go forward because I always run around trying to get things in and getting ready for the show this morning or just in general. Sometimes I do forget, and I'm sorry about that. So hi to everybody who's here this morning. Go ahead and chime in. Thoughts are always there, ready for you in the Twitch pitch. However you're watching us, it is either on the 280-character app, on the Twitch, or on the YouTubes. So just let us know, A, where you're watching, B, what you want to talk about. Lay it all out there in the conversation, in the chats, and we can catch up with it there. Okay. Opening kickoff. Brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. That's the QR code for those of you who are seeing us in video form. What you do, you hit that QR code, and that takes you to Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. You start your day there. You kick off your day there. And don't forget to use the code SoccerDownHere15. You get 15% off your purchase. They, in turn, take 10%, reinvest it in youth games, youth initiatives, stuff that they have earmarked as cool, like our buddy Carlito says over on Monday Night Raw. Right there, you hit that QR code, Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. SoccerDownHere15 is your code. All right. I got a question to the floor. I had to finally bite the bullet. And let me see if I can find both of them here at the desk, because I had to stash one to kind of start the other. And of course, this pen was out all night, so God knows if it'll actually function anymore. Okay. The old phone I had to hang it up. And so I spent 2 days ago, actually, here we go. The old phone, I had to hang it up. I was upside down. So I had to hang up the phone literally and figuratively because it wasn't behaving. It's a Motorola, and I spent an hour in the store with my carrier trying to get a new phone. When you're trying to send messages and the video screen is fritzing and it's kind of like, all right, I need you to scroll up for me, and it won't do it, or it'll scroll down like independently and it'll give you all kinds of different responses. And when you want to go into a particular link, you click a link and it takes you straight to Ticketmaster. I don't think that's what it's supposed to do, specifically considering I didn't want to go there. So you hit the buttons and things go, and I had to get a new phone. So I spent an hour in the phone store having to do with my carrier, and I was trying to figure out, okay, what kind of a phone do I get? I think 4Card, it is a recent phone. I mean, it's like a legit phone. I'll show it to you in a second. But sitting in the phone store for an hour, I had forgotten, and I'd had this particular Motorola for a couple of years, and I had forgotten how labor intensive it was to get a new phone and figure out what's going on and all that kind of stuff. So sitting in the store, I'm like, can I get another Motorola? And the guy was like, well, no, because they're kind of getting out of the cell phone game. They produced a lot of phones, but they're not really doing it anymore. And so that didn't help. So as a result, I ended up getting one of these Google Pixels. And so here we go. Let me, if I had a drum roll, I would do it. But yeah, it is one of these. Let me see if I can, there we go. There's the shine. So it's a Google Pixel. And my question for all of you this morning, as I sit here and stare at it with my face to activate it, my question to all of you this morning is, how long does it traditionally take for you to get everything oriented with your new phone? For a guy like me, it takes me an ungodly amount of time to get something squared away to where, I'm actually functioning and can actually, have the phone work the way that I need it to work. I'm an Android guy. Everybody else, I think, around me, I think maybe Jason's Android as well, but I think everybody else in my life is an iPhone person, much like 4Card. 4Card's an iPhone. Yeah, and that's the thing, is that, and 4Card is absolutely correct. You have to include the John Nelson factor in this. Because I'm 700 years old, I am not technologically inclined, and trying to figure out how to work a new phone, is always tough for me because literally it's like, oh, technology, holy crap. With this particular phone, to transfer all of the contact info and the apps and everything, I literally had to turn the Wi-Fi on both phones, sit them next to each other, and then have them talk to each other and try to stay busy and hope that the information from the old phone was getting to the new phone. I think it did. Because literally it's like, okay, you hit the QR code, you go ding, 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 and everything transfers over from the old phone to the new phone. I'm hoping that it did. And they're telling me that I have to give my old phone up to them at my carrier as a part of this shtick. I mean, I've kept every phone that I've had because of all the contact info and all the stuff that I need to hang on to information-wise. This is the first time that I have been told that I have to surrender my phone to get the new phone. I mean, I have the new phone, as you saw, but I have to surrender my old phone as a part of this deal. And I'm like, eh? So, and Wiley says, all right, so Wiley is a part of this as well. Wiley says, I took screenshots of my old layout, then opened the pictures up on my PC, used that to set up his phone. He's got a Pixel 7 Pro. I've got a Pixel 9 XL, whatever that means. I don't know if that means it's two models younger, 2 years younger than yours, Wiley. I don't know. And I'm hoping that, Wiley, as you say this, He says, FYI, it should be easier next time for you. I hope to God you're right. I hope to whatever God you worship to, you are correct. Because literally these phones had to sit next to each other for like 25 minutes to share information and slide from one to the other. But yeah, I now have a Pixel 9 XL, whatever the hell that means. And so Wiley says, just don't send it in, and they charge you whatever credit they were giving you for this phone. Actually, I had to pay it off. I paid off the old phone. It was like $76 that was left on the bill for the old phone, and then we were square. I don't like to surrender my phones just because of all the information that I have. Okay, so it is a model year thing. So Wiley's got a 7 Pro, and I've got a 9 XL, so that means it's 2 years younger. Okay, got it. Thank you. How long does it take you, collective you, to transfer everything over from your old phone to your new phone, and how long does it take you to become second nature with your new phone? Those are my questions this morning here in opening kickoff, because I'm in that transition phase of trying to figure out what the blank is going on with this new phone and how to navigate it and everything. I know that today I have to go to an electronics store to get like an OtterBox kind of a thing and the shields on the screen, because so far it's right here as you saw it. It has nothing around it. And so knowing me, there's going to be a couple of good drops that are going to be scheduled here in the near future. But sometime today, like later today, I'm going to be heading to an electronics store to get my OtterBox and get everything all squared away where that's concerned. But I just wanted to know, as a public question, to all of you this morning, how long it takes for you, the more technologically inclined than me, to get your new phone. Wow, Alex is in Utah. Good morning at 7:17 a.m. How long it takes for you to become comfortable with your new phone, where it's second nature to navigate it and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, considering that now it is Pixel 9 XL time for me, and the Motorola has hung up its shingle because it was freaking out. So, yeah, I spent an hour in my carrier store getting a new phone. And then I spent an hour in the bank trying to do other things, but that's an entirely different matter that has nothing to do with the phone. But, yeah, 2 hours out in humanity doing 2 errands the other day. So, but, yeah, that was my question. How long does it take before you're comfortable? 4Card says I've changed it 4 years ago and 7 years before that. Wow. For me, usually these phones that I get for whatever reason, they're a good 2 years in cycle. And I still have my Motorola flip phone because it has my early contacts in it. And there are some contacts in there and some messages in there that I want to keep for sentimental reasons. So I've kept all of my phones, and I have no intention of surrendering this one, the old phone, just to kind of hand it over to the store so they can sit there and go, look what's in here. No, that's not going to happen. So I'm going to hang on to it. It's like, yeah, you've got X number of days to get everything transferred over, and then you got to bring the phone in. I'm like, nah. Considering it was $76 to pay it off, I'm like, no. I'm thinking to myself, the more and more I think about it, I'm like, nah, I'm going to hang on to it. So, So 4Card says it only took like an hour for him to get squared away. 4Card, correct. Never ever surrender the old phone. Amen. Alex is like, the only learning curve was when Apple moved from having a home button to using swipes. Other than that, it was painless. Yeah. So Alex has just divulged that he's an iPhone user, where I'm an Android user. But no, like I said, I will keep you posted on this and let you know where things are progressing in the idea of John and his new phone. And I know it's $1 in the jar considering I just did third person. So where I am with my new phone, I will keep you posted as to the progress, how confused I am, and what I need to work on other than everything when it comes to dealing with a new phone. So that was my question to the floor this morning. Obviously, Alex is in Utah for Holy War this weekend, Utah and BYU. Alex says, I'm trying not to be prejudiced against you green bubble people, but it isn't easy. Hey, I mean, look, I've always thought Android was more navigable than Apple. And since I don't have anything, I don't have a Mac. Actually, I take it back. My backup laptop at GPB is a Mac. But my main computers are the other one, not Mac, but Chrome and all the others. I don't have Mac computers, and I don't have that as a part of my integration. So I'm in the other aisle of the store anyway. So to keep all of that, instead of going, yeah, okay, you've got a Mac computer, and then you've got all these other things that aren't Mac. So for me, it's all about trying to stay all about continuity. Anyway, so I will keep you posted on the new phone and all of the integration therein and all of that kind of stuff. So that was opening kickoff. John's got a new phone, and he's trying to figure the blank out. That's your opening kickoff, brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. That's your QR code for those of you who are hanging out with us this morning on the video side of things, however you are doing so. And what you do there is you hit that QR code. You start your day with our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. Use the code SoccerDownHere15. You get 15% off your purchase. They, in turn, take 10%. Reinvested in youth games, youth initiatives, brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. All right, so you'll notice also that the glance board is being a little persnickety this morning, and so that is currently where we are. But remember, once again, it's going to be a busy day. Nino and Niko in hour number 2, but we got stuff to talk about here for the remainder of hour number 1. We got to get you into what you're watching, where to watch it, how to watch it, your juice boxes for the day, and everything that happened yesterday. So the big element yesterday happened in a couple of teams out west. And the first one was San Jose and Jarrett's Quakes, where it appears that they have a new dude that is coming in to be their new head coach. And according to Bogert at Give Me Sports, Tommy Scoops, Jeff Carlisle at ESPN, it appears that, it's in the middle of last night, San Jose has signed Bruce Arena to be the team's sporting director and manager. And apparently he told Carlisle that this was the case. So Jarrett's Quakes not messing around with their new hire. Bruce gets to build this from the ground up. Dual role similar to his previous stops with the Galaxy and the Revs. Chris Leach retains his position, but now reports to Bruce Arena. You, sir, get to report to me. There's a new sheriff in town. His name's Bruce Arena. And so now Chris Leach, instead of being general manager and reporting up, now gets to report to Bruce Arena, who's the new top dog. Sporting director and manager. So sporting director, general manager, coach. Bruce Arena's 2 of those 3, apparently, according to Jeff Carlisle last night. Still to be determined what staff members will be retained, according to Carlisle. Official announcement expected this morning. If it happens before we get off the air, then we will read the press release for you and give you all of the great quotes that are going to be attached to said press release. So, Forecourt, I don't know if he hired his new boss. I don't know if that would be kind of clunky. That would be kind of clunky for me. And if you think it's I mean, think about that dynamic for a second. Okay, so Chris Leach is there, and it's like, okay, so who do I want to bring in to be the new head coach? Hey, I'll give Bruce Arena a call. You dial up Bruce. Deet, 11 digits later. Bruce, yeah. Chris Leach, who? General manager. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. What? You want to be the new head coach in San Jose? Maybe. What's in it for me? Well, you get a nice corner office. Yeah, keep talking. It's got windows. Yeah. We were last in the West. You're not selling me. You want to build something from scratch? Okay, you're getting warmer. You want to be coach? I don't know about that. Well, what if you were like more than one thing? Like what? Oh, I don't know. If you were like head coach and sporting director, what's that mean? Well, it means you get to kind of pick. I can see Chris Leach in. What if we gave you the head coach? Yeah, you're not selling me. But what if we gave you another title? Well, what if I was like sporting director or something? But I'm general manager. Well, I want to be sporting director. Okay, well, I'm general manager. Well, I want to be sporting director and head coach. Let me check. Let me put you on hold for a second. You're going to hear some hold music, and don't hang up. Don't hang up. So the hold music's on. Do 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 do, and you wonder how long Chris Leach is sitting there going. Or did John Fisher, who has invested so much in his into his soccer club at present, where he seems to be just as concerned about investing into his baseball team that is now just going to be called Athletics or A's. No Sacramento designation, no Oakland designation, but it makes you wonder if John Fisher was sitting there in the same room as Chris Leach, and they might have had Bruce on speakerphone, hold music still going. John Fisher's like, no, give him sporting director. Make him the new sporting director. But make him the new sporting director. So I wonder what those conversations were like. Music's off, holds, it comes off of hold. Okay, well, we talked about it. What if you were the new sporting director and the new head coach? Yeah. They put you on hold. Let me think about it. And then it's Bruce's turn for the hold music. He sits there and he's like, honey, San Jose wants me to be coach and sporting director. Well, what about it? I'm thinking about it. Okay. Let me know. Dinner's almost ready. One of those situations. And Bruce takes it off a hold. Yeah, okay, I'm good. But I wonder, knowing what we know about John Fisher and his profound lack of investment in San Jose, how this experience is going to go. Let me go to Spot Track, as we always do in these situations, to look at the contract situations involving teams and folks and players and such. So we go to Spot Track, SPOTREC.com, and they do have a /MLS thing, so you can click on that. So the roster for the year, 17 players, 7 supplementals. Right now they have they do have the list of 30. But they've got a lot of folks on options. A lot of club options here. Tanner Beeson, club option for 25. Usini Buddha, club option for 25. Vitor Costa's guaranteed. Abobasi, club option for 25. Gruezo, a DP, guaranteed. Benji Kukanovic, guaranteed. Hernan Lopez, guaranteed, DP. JT Marcinkowski, club option for 25. Paul Marie, guaranteed. Jonathan Mensah, Alfredo Morales, club options for 25. Pellegrino, Rodri, Skahan, Bruno Wilson, guaranteed. 3 of those 4 are TAM players. William Yarborough, club option for 25. And Daniel D'Souza Brito, club option for 25. Supplementals, 5 of the 7 are club options. Bigonski, Mooney, Richmond, who's a homegrown. Jamar Ricketts, Tommy Thompson, homegrown. Niko Shakiris is guaranteed. Emmanuel Ochoa is guaranteed. Non-actives in 25, 5 of the 6 are guaranteed. Chance Cowell, Cristian Espinoza, Cruz Medina, Edwin Mendoza, Oscar Verhoeven, Jacob Jackson is a club option for 25. So there's a lot of room there to navigate roster space and roster dudes. So if we go to the Players Union website, I know my connection's not private. Good Lord. Advanced. Proceed to. I love Norton, but at times you sit there and it's like, well, salary guide. Oh, of course. Well, if I'd click on the right thing, it would give it to me. So the salary guide for anything San Jose. Here's how it looks for San Jose salary-wise. And I'm just going to count numbers just for the sake of dudes here. Espinoza, 1.8 guaranteed at $2 million and $2,000. Carlos Gruezo, 1.46 base, 1.681 guaranteed. Amal Pellegrino, 912.5 guaranteed. Antonio Josenildo Rodriguez de Oliveira, 708,000 guaranteed. Bruno Wilson at center back, million base, 1.118 guaranteed. In your roster, you have 5 dudes of your 30 that are making $1 million or more. Abobasi at $1,005,000. Espinoza at $2,002,000. Gruezo, this is all the compensation. 1.681086. Hernan Lopez, $1,020,000. You got a couple that are high six figures. Bruno Wilson at 1.18 and a third. So that is what San Jose is looking like. Espinoza, Gruezo, and Lopez are guaranteed all for 25. 24, looking at the salary numbers. Let me go backward just to get my numbers correct. 28th in cap allocation. 28th. That's fairly low last time I checked. Total cap allocation, 14.738, 128. That's your total cap allocation. You are 28th in the league in salary. And you've got a lot of dudes that are making less than 500. So senior roster, 23rd at 12.8, 19th in non-active at just under 600,000. Walls, Medina, Verhoeven, Mendoza, and Chance Cowell. You got 6 folks. Actually, I take it back. You got 6 folks that are making less than 100,000. You have 5 folks that are making more than 1 million guaranteed. And like I said, you got a couple. You got 4 that are making more than 500,000. You ain't investing a whole lot in dudes. Let's put it that way. 28th across the board in total cap allocation in the league. This is what John Fisher has done as the owner, or not done, as the owner in San Jose. If Bruce Arena is coming into this, going back to the Carlisle piece, Arena told Carlisle, I think it's an interesting job. It's certainly going to be challenging. That's underselling it. Arena added that he was impressed by the proposed level of commitment from owner John Fisher, as well as the rest of the club's front office staff. So Fisher is saying all the right things for a team that is 28th in salary in cap allocation. 28th. Arena, quote, they were very impressive and they're committed to making this club better. I think there's potential there to develop the club into a team that can certainly be better than they demonstrated over the last couple of years. Yeah. Arena, 73. Last in the league with only 21 points, 34 matches, and a record of 6-25-3. Worst point total ever in league history was 30 by the Chicago Fire. San Jose gave up 78 goals in 34 matches. Basically 2 1/3 per game. MLS record. Started with Luchi Gonzalez, dismissed in late June. Ian Russell managed the team on an interim basis for the remainder of the season. As such, quoting Carlisle, the team is in need of a complete rebuild. Absolutely they are. Resurrected the Galaxy when he took over in 2008, leading them to 3 MLS Cup titles. Did the same with the Revs, Supporters Shield title in 21. Quote, I already know that we want to bring in anywhere from 3 to 5 new players at a minimum. We're going to target some guys and try to attract them to San Jose. You can't change a dozen players in 1 year, so I think we need to have some patience. I think the roster is a heck of a lot better than they demonstrated this past year. It's not a 21-point roster. Is it a 30-point roster? Is it 40? Is it 50? I don't know. But the roster is certainly more capable than they showed in 2024, end quote. Earthquakes organization and Fisher, according to Carlisle, are prepared to make an additional investment in the complex at PayPal Park. Upgrades include improved locker rooms, a player meeting room, a team dining room, an additional practice field, and other amenities that will improve, quote, the everyday environment for the players. So reading what Carlisle says, you had locker rooms that weren't the best, top line, A+, B+, however you want to phrase it and grade it. The players didn't have their own meeting room. They didn't have a team dining room. And then obviously the additional practice field and other amenities. How do you not have some of these things that are being written about by Jeff Carlisle? How do you not have them as a part of the basics for a Major League Soccer franchise? And of course, once again, going back to John Fisher and Oakland and the Oakland A's, we can kind of answer these questions, or at least have the suppositions as to why. Arena said the team was also committed to spending more on player salaries. We mentioned Quakes ranked 26 of 29 according to Carlisle. We have it as 28 according to Spot Track. Arena said Fisher hadn't put an exact number on the amount of any spending increase. The commitment he, meaning Fisher, has made to help improve the roster is the one that I think is very positive. Remember, Arena's been out of work since he resigned as manager of New England in September 2023. Resignation came after he was put on administrative leave and later investigated by MLS for making, quote, inappropriate and insensitive remarks. At the time of his resignation, Arena said he admitted he, quote, made some mistakes, end quote, but didn't elaborate further. MLS announced that certain, in quotation marks, allegations were confirmed and that Arena would have to petition Don Garber if he wanted to work in the league again. Arena eventually met those conditions, declared eligible in December to resume working in Major League Soccer. When he was on Kicking It in June on Golazo Network, Arena said he took responsibility for his actions, but he also said he had to be, quote, reserved in what he could say about why he resigned. He called what he went through hurtful. When asked to comment on his departure from New England, Arena again declined to offer specifics, said he was extremely proud of what he accomplished with the Revs, added that he had engaged in some restorative practice work in the bid to move on from the episode. When pressed on exactly what he said, Arena indicated, quote, it was just staff joking around with each other in private. I accept any of the criticism, and I'm moving forward. So that is as far as Bruce Arena is going, or anyone is going, to break down what happened with Bruce Arena in New England a little over a year ago. That's as far as anybody is saying. Bruce kind of walked up to the edge of the train station, but he didn't get on the train. He kind of got there and he kind of watched as the train came into the station, didn't take any other steps forward. Winningest coach in MLS history, 262 regular season wins, 12 trophies. DC United, 2 MLS Cups, a Supporters Shield, Open Cup, 1998 CONCACAF Hemispheric Extravaganza, and the Inter-American Cup. Galaxy, 3 MLS Cups, 2 pie plates. Pie plate with the Revs. Last time he won a trophy, also managed Red Bulls. So now apparently he's back in Major League Soccer, attempting to restore San Jose. 2 MLS Cups and 2 pie plates, last of which came in 2012. And Carlisle points out the irony that Cali Classico will now have Bruce Arena on the other side of it. So that is where we are. Bruce Arena, like I said, when Niko comes in 10:30, we'll talk about it with him there as well. But that broke this time last night. So that was intriguing to say the very least. And it is also intriguing that John Fisher sold to Bruce Arena the idea of increased investment, whatever that entails, to whatever level that entails, and that there are going to be improved amenities. Why those amenities did not exist in the first place, no one knows. But you are also in the smallest park in Major League Soccer. We went over all of that yesterday. 18,000 at PayPal Park. Hopefully you can roll over to Spartan Stadium where Cali Classico can be and all the big rivalries can be, where you know you're going to sell more than 18,000 seats. But Bruce Arena apparently is back in the coaching / player personnel game in San Jose. Jeff Carlisle, Tom Bogert. Jeff Carlisle had the big piece over at the 4-letter. Bruce Arena back at the age of 73, taking over in San Jose. I give you a hearty hand salute, sir, and wish you good luck. I'm Missouri here when it comes to San Jose and what has been spoken. Bruce Arena gets to be in charge of player personnel. Now, Chris Leach, the general manager, reports to Bruce Arena, as opposed to Bruce Arena being technical sporting director and head coach, reporting to a general manager. Chris Leach, now the GM, has to report to Bruce. John Fisher has said, okay, here's the deal. You know, Bruce, I want you, and you got to, we're improving this, and this. I can't wait to see it. Jared, I'm sure, can't wait to see it too. And everyone that wants a Cali Classico that is worthy of Cali Classico-ness and pushing and shoving and rivalries, and not a team that's hemorrhaging goals like San Jose did, winning 21 points, 6 wins, 625 and 3. I think the Western Conference is better when San Jose is a part of the active discussion, because we've seen the young talent that has come through San Jose. But level of investment apparently has been promised to Bruce Arena. So we will see what happens when Bruce Arena takes over with the multi ID the multi ID business card that he is going to have. And if you hear something, the guard dog is chasing after something in his sleep. He's listen to this. All right, hang on just a second. I know that this is not like normal show stuff. I'm gonna take my headset off. Pardon the rattling. So of course he shuts up. Next time that the rowdy man is barking in his sleep. Oh wait, here we go. Let me see if I can catch him. So hang on just a second. So, of course, I take off my headset and he shuts up. Anyway, but yeah, rowdy man is barking in his sleep. He's chasing after something. I hope he catches it. If he continues to bark, we'll chase after it and we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's the big story number one. That's big story number one. Bruce Arena back in coaching in San Jose. So we'll see what happens there. All right, story number two. And probably if you listen to Glenn Davis traditionally, then you know that as one of the voices in American soccer, he gets to find out what's going on with his group in Houston with the Dynamo. Yesterday, it was announced that Hector Herrera, is not going to be renewed for 2025. Dynamo declined the 25 contract option for Ache Ache. The club announced this yesterday. So let me see if I can find the actual release from the Dynamo. And I will see what their wording is here. Of course, I have to figure out which email it's in since I get like 19 different emails. But the biggest news is that they're going to be trying to find a new star striker. Roster decisions. Okay, so here we go. The roster decisions for Houston Dynamo. Exercise the 2025 contract options on 4 players. Options declined for 6, 1 player out of contract, 21 players on the roster for the 25 season. 4 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time, Pat Onstad's going to be available to the media at Houston Sports Park to discuss. 21 on the roster, second consecutive playoff appearance. Pat Onstad had a 2-sentence quote for the press release. Exercising the 2025 contract options for playoff Franco Escobar, Sebastian Kowalczyk, Mikhail Dos Santos, as you darn well should have in defense, and Gabe Siegel. Declined the contract options for Jan Gregish, Ache Ache, Junior Moreno, Brad Smith, Usman Sila, and Javier Valdez. Mackenzie Gaines is out of contract and a free agent, negotiating with Latif Blessing, Steve Clark, Daniel Steris, Tate Schmidt, and Andrew Tarbell. That makes sense. 17 players under contract for the Dynamo. Anor, Artur, Arzu, Bartlow, Bassi, Coco Carrasquilla, Griffin Dorsey, Inali, Seb Ferreira, Aliou Ibrahim, Ezequiel Ponce, Nelson Quinones, Brooklyn Reigns, Sebastian Rodriguez, Kieran Sargent, Eric Sviatchenko, and Jefferson Valverde. 6 no keepers currently under contract. 6 defenders, 6 midfielders, 9 forwards. So right now, that's where they got 21, 17 under contract, 4 whose options got picked up. So 21 players. Ache Ache is not one of them. How would you feel if you were a fan in Houston and you had this as the last moment for one of your talisman, the last moment attached to Ache Ache in a Houston Dynamo jersey, courtesy of our friends at Apple TV and Major League Soccer.
Seattle scrambling to get numbers back. Bassi with the big switch. Great recovery from the 19-year-old Obed Vargas. And now Herrera is booked after a shot to the side of Jackson Reagan. To VAR at Lumen Field. And that was Coco Carrasquilla, who had already had a yellow, who was sent off with a red. Listen to the decision.
After review, number 16, spitting, red card, final decision, red card.
And that was very, very quick to turn that microphone off. Ache Ache got busted. We talked about this in Reffing Down here on Monday. Ache Ache busted for spitting. And I mean, literally, he took his time. He thought about it. And it wasn't like Evangelinus Marinakis at Nottingham Forest. It wasn't where I smoke a lot of cigars, I have a hacking cough, and I just, hit the ground with it. Ache Ache walked past the center ref, turned, and bang, at the feet of the center ref. So that's what you end up with as the last moment for Ache Ache, for now, like I said. I mean, option not renewed. There could be future conversations. But as of right now, that's the last moment Houston Dynamo fans have involving Ache Ache, Hector Herrera, and his time in Houston. After the match, Ben Olsen addressed this, and like I said, this will probably carry over into 10:30 with Niko. But this is what Ben Olsen said about Coco Carrasquilla's red and in game 2 in the first match. And then the second match, Ache Ache's red. Here's what Ben Olsen had to say. It's a couple of minutes, but it's worth it. Here's Ben Olsen after match day 2 discussing center refs, Ache Ache, and Coco Carrasquilla, courtesy of the Dynamo.
Again, for some reason, the 2 games I'll have to look at what Hector did and what that looks like. I know it was, I don't know, we've had 5 red cards against Seattle in the last 2 years, 5, 6, I don't even know. It just seems like every time we play them, we end up getting red cards. So it's a little bit of a rivalry there, but we have to make sure we're smart and give ourselves the best opportunities to win. Yeah, those are my thoughts overall. Happy to take questions.
We'll start with Danielle up front here.
Have you had a chance to talk to Hector about?
Nope. No, I haven't talked to him about it. Just address the team, but no individuals. I'm assuming, from what I hear, he spat at the referee, and anytime you do that, you're at the mercy of these guys.
I mean, are you at all surprised that it was kind of too heat of the moment, emotional, mental errors that have? Yeah,
I'm surprised. If you watch us this year, that hasn't been a theme. I will say, the first half, things build in games, and referees make a moment like that, and of course, okay, you can throw the book at him. But the way he manages the first half, and I don't want to get into it because it's sour grapes at this point. But again, the way he manages the first half is unacceptable, and that boils up into the second half. And halftime becomes the guys bitching about the referee, and so I don't think he did a good job. I don't think the referee in Seattle did a good job. So it's no excuses. Seattle's a damn good team. They're hard to break down. They're experienced, and they won 2 PKs. But over the 2 series, or 2 games, I felt like, we didn't get as fair a shake. That doesn't mean that was the reason. Both can be red cards. But again, the management of these games, I thought both of them could have did a better job to not let that kind of start to brew. And again, both of them weren't at their best. But neither were Coco and neither were Hector in that moment. So it's not all on them.
He is referring to, he's like, I don't want to talk about it, but then he goes and talks about it. He's referring to, in game number 2, match day 2 in that series, Armando Villarreal. And in match day number 1, he's referring to Ted Uncle. And remember, we had an entire discussion on match day 1 where Ted Uncle on the Coco Carrasquilla red and the handball that wasn't a handball that went off of Mikael's shoulder, basically the inside of his shoulder, and ended up being an own goal that Ted Uncle was that ended up being a penalty call by Ted Uncle. He was quite confident in. He was staring at Mikael's back and thought it was incredibly confident of him to say that it was a penalty on a handball. Where Ted Uncle in match day 1, we talked about Ted Uncle, 2 reviews with VAR that took 9 minutes total. 5.5 and 3.5, or almost 9.5 total. 5 and 4. I think it's 5.5 and 4 minutes, 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So I don't want to talk about it, but he ends up talking about it. Match day 2, it was Armando Villarreal. Match day 1, it was Ted Uncle. Like I said, we broke down Ted Uncle in the 2 calls with Bart on a reffing down here Monday. What Olsen is referring to in match day 2, if you look at the numbers, strictly from a numerical standpoint, that you had 23 fouls called in the match. 12-11, fairly even. It was pretty even, Steven. 12-11, 12 called on Houston, 11 called on Seattle. But what Olsen is probably alluding to is the idea that there were 4 yellows called in 12 fouls on Houston and only 1 yellow in 11 fouls for Seattle. And where I'm going to play this back again because I want to get what Ben Olsen said in that moment. I want to get it. I want to get it right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play it to a point where he discusses the 2 red cards.
Again, for some reason, the 2 games, I'll have to look at what Hector did and what that looks like. I know it was, I don't know, we've had 5 red cards against Seattle in the last 2 years, 5, 6, I don't even know. It just seems like every time we play them, we end up getting red cards. So it's a little bit of a rivalry there, but we have to make sure we're smart and give ourselves the best opportunities to win. Yeah, those are my thoughts overall. Happy to take questions.
We'll start with Danielle up front here.
Have you had a chance to talk to Hector about
A little
Nope.
further along.
No, I haven't talked to him about it. Just address the team, but no individuals. I'm assuming, from what I hear, he spat at the referee, and anytime you do that, you're at the mercy of these guys.
You're at the mercy of these guys when you spit at the referee. Well, yes, because you don't do that. And it was found that Ache spat at the feet of the referee, Armando Villarreal. And you got busted because you needed to get busted in that case. I haven't seen it, but when you spat at the referee and then you're at the mercy of those guys. Well, yes, you are. As you should be. So, Coco Carrasquilla, like I said, and we talked about, and so we'll circle back on this, obviously with Niko coming up in about 40 minutes. So you have Coco Carrasquilla lash out with the left foot, gets a red, bang, gone. And morning, Derek, by the way. And yeah, when Ache goes past Armando Villarreal, you're at the mercy of these guys. Ben Olsen, you're at the mercy of these guys. And I admit that this is post immediately after the match. It's immediate reaction that we're going backwards to discuss. But yes, you're at the mercy of these guys because you don't do that. You walk past Armando Villarreal a good 6 feet. You line him up. You go over your left shoulder and bang, and you spit at the man's feet. Yes, you should yes, you're at the mercy of these guys because you don't do that, and you deserve the red because you've disrespected an official on the field. And that will be the lasting memory, or the lasting memory, or just the last memory of Hector Herrera, in Houston for the Dynamo. That will be the last thing people think about until further notice. The word was 2.5 seasons, 5 goals, 21 assists, 62 matches. Arrived from Atletico Madrid midway through the 22 campaign. Pat Onstad, there's not a world where he returns. But he was a signing who at the time was perfect for our club, a club that had made the playoffs once in 8 years. Helped us get back there 2 consecutive years, won an Open Cup for us, had a fantastic year in 23. But by the same token, he'd probably be the first to tell you this year has been disappointing for him and his standard. 2-time MLS All-Star, posted 4 and 17 in 30 matches last year. Didn't debut in 24 until mid-April after getting injured in preseason. So now, Ache occupied a DP spot, wore the captain's armband. Question is it Ponce? Is it Carrasquilla? Is it Bassi? That's what you're looking at when it comes to Houston and the future, where they've got a big DP hole to fill since they did not renew the option on Hector Herrera. But yeah, Derek, I saw it. He got what he deserved. You don't line up an official from behind 6 feet away and bang. You don't do that. You just don't. But that will be the last memory that folks have of Hector Herrera in a Houston Dynamo uniform. Being frustrated, as you heard from Ben Olsen in that soundbite in the post-match presser. Wasn't happy with how Armando Villarreal managed Game 2. Wasn't happy how Ted Unkel managed Game 1. You end up being bounced in 2. And now you have the rest of the season to think about it. Postseason moves have been made, and you gear up for free agency in about a month, and everybody else releasing all of their information. But those were the two big pieces of information yesterday that came through in Major League Soccer. Ache gone in Houston, Bruce Arena back in San Jose. So before Nino joins us, let's get you into what to watch, where to watch it, how to watch it today. And like I said, on the flip side, apparently after 10:30, because we're going to go long, because we went long on discussing Bruce Arena and Ache. We'll get into college soccer. It's Europa League Day, 12:45 and 3 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. Olympiacos and Rangers, Lazio and Porto. Fox Soccer Plus has the league that we neither condone, endorse, nor promote at noon. Paramount Plus, Argentine Primera at 7:15. Villa Sarsfield and Tigre. West Brom and Burnley in the championship at 3. Serie A on Paramount Plus at 2:45. Genoa and Como. 9 gazillion games in the Europa League. So basically every Europa League matchup. Like I said, we'll go over juice boxes, but you've got 3, 6, 9 at 12:45, and 8 at 3 o'clock because you had the one match that happened yesterday. Europa Conference League is going on right now, late first half. You've got Vikingo Reykjavik and Borak Banja Luka for you hardcores. Then you have 3, 6, 7, including our friends, the New Saints from Wales, the team that is, I want to say, 4th or 5th division in the Welsh Pyramid. New Saints are at 12:45 up against Shamrock Rovers. 7 at 12:45. The one going on right now at 9:30. 3, 6, 9, 10 at 3 o'clock. So big day in Europa League, Europa Conference League. And like I said, we'll get into juice boxes for that after Niko Moreno. So north of 11 o'clock, we'll get you into your juice boxes. For everything else, college, it's a busy day. Flow has the Colonial Tournament at 1 and 6 on the men's side. B1G Plus has the Big Ten Tournament, 1, 3, 30, and 6. Women's side, ACC Network has a doubleheader. Wake Forest, Florida State, Duke, and North Carolina at 5:30 and 8. The Plus has the America East Tournament, 2 matches simultaneously at 6. The Plus has the American Tournament back-to-back, 4 and 7. A-Sun at 3 and 7. Lipscomb, Central Arkansas, EKU, and Florida Gulf Coast on the Plus. Flow has the Big East at 5 and 7:30. The Plus has the Big South at 4 and 7. Catch up with our friends from High Point and Radford, taking them on at 7 o'clock. USC Upstate and Presbyterian, the Blue Hose at 4. Big Ten, 2 and 4:30. USC, Rutgers, UCLA, and Washington. Big West, late night tonight, 9 and basically midnight. They're saying 11:59, so they keep it in this day's broadcast zone. UC Santa Barbara, UC Davis, Cal Bakersfield, and Hawaii. Horizon Tournament, 2 and 5 on the Plus. Metro Atlantic Athletic at 1 and 7. MAC. You have MACtion this morning and this afternoon. 11 and 2:30. Missouri Valley at 4 and 7. Northeast at 12 and 7. Ohio Valley at 1 and 4, including our friends from Lindenwood. Patriot League at 6 and 7 on the Plus. SEC Tournament, South Carolina, Mississippi State at 4:30. Texas and Arkansas at 7. Southland at 5 and 8 on the Plus. Opening round of the SWAC Tournament, 11, 2, 5, and 8. All on the Plus. So if you've got the Plus, it's a busy day. Very, very busy day for you, as it should be. So that's the fun part of what to watch, where to watch it, how to watch it. Like I said, juice boxes will be north of 11 o'clock when we get you ready for the broadcast day. That'll be the last thing that we get into this morning. All right, and obviously one of the topics with Nino when he comes in is Victor Gyökeres, Manchester United and Chelsea. We mentioned the £63 million price tag, $20 million less than his release clause next summer. United monitoring Bayern Munich's Leon Goretzka, according to Florian Plettenberg at Sky Sports Germany. United interested in Leroy Sané at Bayern, free agent this summer, also on Arsenal's transfer list. Real Madrid are going to make a January move for Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's out of contract at the end of the year. Liverpool are prepared to block any offers for first-team players in January. Al Hilal considering canceling the contract of Neymar in January, replacing him with CR39. That will be interesting. Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs interested in Eintracht Frankfurt's Hugo Larsson. Crystal Palace planning a £20 million bid for Sunderland 17-year-old Chris Rigg. That's the 3-letter paper. Everton expressed an interest in signing Brighton's Tariq Lamptey on a free when his contract expires at the end of the year. Consortium led by U.S. businessman Steve Rosen, close to completing a £105 million takeover of Sheffield United. We forgot to get into that yesterday. That's from the Telegraph. Spurs considering a move for Callum Hudson-Odoi at Forest. AC Milan, Inter Milan, Napoli interested in Jakub Kivior. Gunners only considering letting him leave permanently for a fee, not a loan switch. Brentford among the admirers of Celta de Vigo striker Anastasios Douvikas. And West Ham will review the position of Julian Lopetegui if they lose at home to Everton on Saturday. That is gossip, rumor, and innuendo. We are north of 10 o'clock, which means one thing. Time to go fully loaded with someone who has been happy since the weekend, and thankfully goal difference did not come into play. And for this, we catch up with our man in Peru. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Champion, campeón de campeones, and is Nino Torres. That is not
Yellow, yellow, yellow. America, how you doing? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, John. Good morning, all the Soccer Down Here fans. Here we are, like every Thursday morning, to bring you all the episodes of Fully Loaded with Nino Torres here on Soccer Down Here.
You got it, bro.
John, I sent you the list. I know I sent you the list, but we got breaking news, man. We got breaking news.
Hang on. If there's breaking news, let me hit the breaking news sounder, because we got to do it right. We got to hit the breaking news music, so that way you can get properly hydrated and be ready for this, because you're rare to bring in breaking news here on the show. So here we go. Breaking news. Hit me.
The president of the Peruvian Soccer Federation was arrested in a raid by the prosecutor's office this morning. This morning.
Okay.
Him and 7 other executives, including presidents from the club Sporting Cristal, Joel Raffo, from the president of the club Cantolao, Karen Mandriotti, and several other members of the Peruvian Soccer Federation. He's been, today, it just happened today, this morning. I sent you the thing, I sent you the list, and boom, I turned the TV on, like, what's going on here? He's been preliminarily detained for 15 days, along with 7 other people, including the president of Cristal. I already said that, I know. So, but yeah, that just happened today.
Okay. Morning. So please, for those that break down the context of why this is breaking news and why this is huge.
Okay. First off, the president of Peruvian Soccer Federation, he had several charges, right? Several criminal charges, right? Before they've been pending, they've been up in the air, they've been delayed. But now it looks like this prosecutor is like, all right, you got all these charges. What's going on? And then he went after him. And you've been charged for at least, I think it's 5 or 6 charges. He's been arrested for. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's just, it was a long time coming, all right? Long time coming. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. Because he had people, like that phrase that I know people in the government, I know people in the Justice Department. So apparently, the people that he knows, he's no longer in those positions of power, and somebody who got to do his job right. All right, these are the charges. We're going after you. So, okay, that's Jesus, man. Jesus, I mean, this is crazy. Okay, this is the thing here. Among the additional accusations, Agustin Lozano have omitted sanctions to clubs in Liga 1, Liga 2, and department leagues. Remember that I told you that he has a prominent club in the 2nd division. Mm-hmm. So, right, the thing with Lozano, this is how the Peruvian Federation operates, okay? Every time there is an election for the Peruvian president of the Peruvian Federation, it's the clubs, right? The clubs in the 1st division, they have votes, right? But there's 16 teams. Now, the district leagues, right? There are how many? 7 is 14. 14. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the 16 teams do, right? He got 14 votes backing him up every single time because he goes up to those districts and drop some money here, drop some money there. I'm gonna build you a field. What do you want? I need some gymnasium. Okay, I'll start gymnasium for your team, and he got him on his side, right? So that's why he's been. This is his second consecutive term, and everything indicates that for now, right? Now he's in I don't know what's going to happen with the next election, right? But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy, and we all shocked because we didn't know that this was going to happen, man. I mean, nobody saw this one coming. 6 a.m. was the raid at his house and several other houses. The raid at 6 a.m. They love that here in Peru. Every time they do a raid, they do it at 4 or 5 in the morning. You know,
breakfast. It's a breakfast raid, man. Before you can put the bread in the toaster, you got to knock on the door. It's like, excuse me, sir, can you come and answer? But I got stuff in the toaster in the microwave. No, you got to answer the door, please.
Bring
sir.
toast with you. Yeah, that just happened today, man. Oh my God.
Yeah. So you're gonna being the intrepid reporter that you are, you will obviously keep us posted on that. I want to talk a little bit about Portugal and some dude named Amorim and another dude named Gyökeres who beat the brakes off of Manchester City. You know what you're facing when you go up against Sporting. Manchester City, they're dinged. They've got all these injuries. The short roster, the whole thing. And Victor Gyökeres Hattie, a hat trick by Gyökeres, a 4-1 win in Champions League. I know you were sitting there going, "Yeah, see, you're like the Leonardo DiCaprio gif. You're pointing like that. You're going, yeah,
that guy, that guy,
mm-hmm.
that guy. He's been phenomenal. I mean, 54 goals in 54 games this year. That says it all. 54 goals in 54 games this year for Victor Gyökeres. And we are a couple of months away still. So he's not going to break the record for Lionel Messi, 91 goals in 1 year. No, he's not going to do that. But right now, at this very moment, he's the best striker on the planet. He's just flat out, he's the best in the planet. And but I'm gonna point. We know we're talking about Amorim, we're talking to Victor Gyökeres, but I'm gonna take a couple of seconds to mention this kid from Uruguay, the 24-year-old goalie for Sporting. He conceded the first goal early, right? Phil Foden make it easy and then he came back, regrouped himself, and then he made key saves throughout the game to keep Sporting at only one goal coming from Manchester City. The recovery of Franco Israel is making whoever's coming next for to be under the pipes for Sporting. I mean, to be the new coach for Sporting. He's going to have a problem deciding whether to use Kovacevic, who they paid $10 million to get to be the goalie for Sporting, and this kid, right? I mean, I'm saying kid because still thinking he's 23. But once you turn 24, you're a grown man. I'm sorry, in soccer, you're a grown man in soccer. Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. You can drive now. You can drink. You can do whatever you want with 24 years old in soccer. And because last year, right, the last stretch of the season, Ruben Amorim, he benched Antonio Adan. He benched him. You're not playing anymore. Last 10 games of the season. For the last 10 games. And the kid delivered. Franco Israel delivered for Sporting. And they keep them at the top of standings in the League of Portugal.
There are a couple of dudes that it looks like they want to bring over as a part of this. We reported on Giovanni Kenda, who is 17. You've got, obviously, the discussion about Diamande is desired. So it looks like after thinking, no, I don't want to bring anybody with me, it now looks like there are a couple of dudes, Ignacio, Diamande, Gyökeres, and the 17-year-old that are being looked at for Amorim to bring with him to Manchester United. Those dudes, what have they done to help Sporting get to where they are? We talked about Gyökeres, but what about the others, and what have they been able to do to be a part of that puzzle that has Sporting at the top of the table?
Gonzalo Ignacio is the best defender in the league. Gonzalo Ignacio is the best center back in the League of Portugal. Right, he's been the rock of this defense for Amorim, not only this season but the season before. Gyökeres, I don't have to say any other word about Gyökeres. But at Gyökenda, he is the rookie of the year in the Liga Portugal. He is sensational. One of the most exciting wing backs that I've seen in years coming of the Liga Portugal. But I don't know if he's gonna take him. I don't know if he's gonna bring Gyökenda. I think for sure Victor Gyökeres and Gonzalo Ignacio.
What about Diamante?
I mean, you wanted to you leave the team without center backs? No, please. You got those are your two starters. Take me one. Just give me one. If he takes two, that'll be. I mean, they're gonna hate him. They are gonna hate him in his mom big time, man. Because I mean, okay, we know that you're gonna take some players because United needs some players badly. Okay, but don't leave us empty-handed, brother. Don't leave us, with the small towel to cover us. It's no. But if it happens, he's gonna be the billion. Oh, big time, man, big time. They love him now. They got a big tifo, the Alvalade, obrigado, la la la. But if he takes those three players, they're gonna hate him.
Oh, yeah. And then when you get like European competition and all of a sudden Manchester United walks in the door and you're playing a team from Portugal, if they match up something with Sporting and Manchester United and all of those players have moved from Sporting to Manchester United, you want to talk about launching flares and throwing stuff at people?
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see that. I mean, they're not like, I'm not going to say they're not like the Benfica fans because Benfica fans are crazy too. They were winning, right? They finished second. I know they finished second. It's oh man, we finished second. What is this? It's a capital sin for us to be second. I mean, come on, man. You won 38 titles. But they were throwing flares at the pitch, and they actually, the fans of Benfica, they were the ones to push Rui Costa to fire Roger Schmidt. He was under a lot of pressure to not sustain Roger Schmidt. He ended up, fighting within I don't know how many games into the season, 2, 3. No, there's 4 games. I think it was 4 games. 4 games into the season. He did not wait until the international break. No, you're gone now. And they brought back Bruno Lage to Benfica.
Well, and it just so happens that you mentioned that Benfica and Porto get to play each other this weekend in El Clásico.
Boy, this Clásico, Sporting. But the thing is, Sporting plays Braga right before them. Sporting plays Braga right before them. The Sporting plays at 1:30 and they play at 3:45. Sporting is gonna run over Braga. After they're done with Braga. They're gonna sit tight in their lounge. Hey, can I bring us lots of popcorn, baby? Give me loads of popcorn because we're gonna see Benfica and Porto tearing up apart each other. And whatever happens there is gonna be in the favor of Sporting. Obviously, the best result for Sporting is for them to tie. But if Porto wins in the Estadio da Luz, I don't know if Benfica is gonna recover from that. Because they already lost 1 game in the season opener to Famalicão.
Yeah.
All right. And they got a draw also, and that's when they fire Roger Schmidt. I don't know what round was. I think it was 4 or 5. That's when they fired Roger Schmidt because they dropped 3. 5 points already.
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
points, and it's not even 10. It's not even half of the season, and you already lost 5 points to your competitors in a season where the Big Four is so far ahead of everyone else. The title is going to be decided on the games that you don't lose, on the points that you don't lose against Santa Clara, against Nacional, against all those teams. But those small teams, they snatch points from you. Once the competition becomes in between the Big Four, you know that you're going to lose points against the Big Four.
Mm.
You know you're going to drop points against them. You don't have to drop points to the other ones. And Benfica already did that. So if Benfica loses this Sunday, it's good night, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Good night. They're not gonna win the title. They're not gonna win the title.
And you can catch that on Gold TV. Which ones are you calling, by the way?
I'm calling the Clásico.
Ooh,
of course. And
you're like, bruh, I'm calling that when everybody else fighting for second.
Yes. Santa Clara Victoria is the first one because the usually I call the big three, right? Benfica, Porto, and Sporting. But Sporting and Braga played right before Benfica, so it's that's in the middle. So I do Santa Clara at 11:30, and then the Clásico at 3:45. This is my sixth year that I'm doing the Clásico in the network. The biggest game in the network. I'm so proud, man.
No doubt about it. Gold TV, you can get it at Fanatis, ftz.co/soccer down here. And you get to help out Fanatis. You get to help out STH.
Wait.
And you get to watch. You get to watch and listen to our man call El Clásico on the weekend. All right. So what is this that you said about the obnoxious officiating situation in Argentina? What is that about? And I'm like I said, what I do, Nino sends me his notes. He's like, okay, here's my talking points. I know, obviously, I have talking points, and Nino can bounce off of them, whatever. I am literally reading you what he wrote to me. The obnoxious officiating situation in Argentina. Please expound, sir.
All right, let me ask you this. What would you do if you were a referee if this happens, right? Because I saw this one this morning, and it's crazy because every morning for the past, I want to say, month.
Yeah.
Now we are getting into the critical situation definition of the tournaments and so in Argentina. So we're getting into the final stretch of the season where every game matters, right? Every single game matters, especially in the second division. But this one is in the first division also. What would you do if you were a referee if you see a player launching an elbow and then an uppercut and shove around the opponent? What will you do? Right?
Bang.
What? I mean, without even hesitation, brother. You don't have to blink. You know what the referee did?
We're good.
No, he calling. Oh, you gotta be a good boy. Okay? you cannot do that, all right? Because this is Barraca Central. Right? This is a team from whose team it is, right? Oh, yeah. That guy Tapia. Oh, he's the president. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was his team. All right. Every single week, man. Every single week, Barraca Central. It's a UFC. It's a UFC game. Actually, this is not a Peruvian. I mean, Argentinian fourth division game. No, it's UFC. No red cards. There are no red cards. It's insane. It's insane.
Well, and for those that don't know, Barraca Central, by the way, is at the bottom of the table in the torneo, and they have played. They're one of the group that have already played 21 matches, and you have I think 6 left or 7 left, depending on who you are. Our friends at Defensa y Justicia, they are just above Barraca Central, but Barraca Central right now, bottom of the table. 3 points adrift from Defensa y Justicia, and Newell's is only at 21 points. They're 26th in this table, and they've lost 3 or 4. This is stunning to me to finally look at this. Lanús is at the bottom of the table. They're 23rd. What is going on?
I don't know, but guess what? The AFA just released a statement last weekend. Was it last week or the week before. I don't know. Who's at the bottom of the table? Remind me again. I'm sorry. Who's
I
at the
believe that
bottom?
I believe that would be Baracas Central, sir.
Oh, okay. So no relegation this year.
Wow. So that's why when I looked at the table, I didn't see the normal colors on the. Okay.
No relegation this year.
Okay. Wow. So it's like literally when I was looking at the standings, I look over at the torneo, and traditionally, it's like, okay, you have like different colors for champs and competitions and things like that. They just have the one color, the blue colored note next to the champ. No other colors, no reds, no nothing. In a year where I'm looking at the bottom and there's some big names there, I see no other colors. I just see numbers and positions. The team at the top is the only one that has a color attached to it, and that's Velez right now on goal difference above Huracan. But now I know, I feel like Paul Harvey all of a sudden. Now I know why things are the way that they are. I mean, it is a color me stunned that something like this would happen. It's just I'm stunned.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah, so I mean, man, okay. Now the light comes on. It takes John a little time for the engine to warm up. Now I get it. Okay, that's just the ridiculous, the obnoxious officiating situation in Argentina. Okay, next up, the sublime momentum of Luis Diaz with Liverpool, and I'm keeping what's in parentheses. I'm saving that. The sublime momentum of Luis Diaz with Liverpool.
Stunning Luis Diaz. A hat trick in the Champions League. He is living his best moment, man. The best moment of his career. And when he was playing for Porto, right? He was spectacular. But then now, all the question marks. How would he do in the Premier League? Right? How will he do in the Premier League? I don't know if he's going to make it or not. And I was like, no. He is going to crush it. He's going to be fantastic in the Premier League with Liverpool. But I said that about Darwin Núñez, and I was wrong about Darwin because Darwin is still not taking off. He's still missing 500 shots a game, man. In his first year in Benfica, he was the best assist provider because he missed I don't know how many goals. Now the second season, he was the leading scorer for Benfica. So I was waiting for that second season of Darwin with Liverpool to really take off because I think he was injured first and he was sent off. He's such a hot-headed, right? But still not developing. I think we're yet to see the best of Darwin Núñez. Mm-hmm. We're yet to see the best of Darwin Núñez. I think it's going to come that season. That same way it happened with Vinicius Jr. Even, that first couple of years with Real Madrid, he was a disaster. With Vinicius Jr. And then finally he turned it in, and now he's probably the best winger in the world, if not the best player in the world. And unlike the people from the Ballon d'Or organization, I don't know what was that about Rodri, but that was all right. I'm not going to talk about that, but I'm still mad about that. Sorry about that. But back to Lucho Diaz. All
right.
He is adding this. He's getting more lethal by every game. Because he's spectacular. No, he's a Colombian, bringing the cumbia, all the nice dribbles and stuff. But he's a killer. Don't forget that he's a killer. All right. And I love him too because he's a killer from the wings, like myself. I'm a winger who can score. Right. I'm not a true nine. The other couple of nights were, play a true nine. I was like, no, I gotta fly on the wings, brother.
Are you best as an inverted winger where they put you on the opposite side, or do they put you better on the left with that right foot of yours? Is that how this works?
I don't care. I can kick with both. I don't mind.
All right.
I don't mind, brother. I got power on both feet, brother.
All right.
Both feet. And still at 50, I'm still flying. I'm still fast.
Well, the team we're going to talk about in the handoff, they might need your help, but we'll get into that at the handoff. It's going to be a topic that you're not going to be a fan of, but we got to talk about it.
All right.
So, Niko Moreno coming up in a couple minutes. Couple of things now. Nino launches into his singing career on SDH. What in the blue, what is that?
Hold on a second. Because hold on a second. I want to sing along with the thing here because we were talking about Lucha Diaz.
Yeah.
And the Liverpool fans, they created a song for Lucha Diaz. So
hit it.
So, he came from Porto. He came to score, came to score, came to score, score. Luis Diaz, he's from Barranca. He plays for Liverpool. Luis Diaz, he's from Barranca. He plays for Liverpool.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Hey, no, you can sing anytime. Last topic. You were concerned last week when you were on the show, you were concerned. Last day of the regular season, this close to a title for your beloved Universitario. You were concerned about goal difference and roster makeup and blowouts and blowout city and everything. I turn on Fanatis, fntz.co/soccer down here. You can watch Fanatis. You can watch the Peruvian League. I turn on the league and I catch a celebration of a particular team that you are close to, where they were celebrating and there were interviews on the field with dudes and headsets and microphones and grabbing coaches and all of these kinds of things. Oh yeah, that's what I figured. I figured you were busting out the Centenario jersey this morning, and you're getting your up downs after the morning workout, so everybody can see that you're flashing the jersey. Bro. By the end of it all, you don't have to worry about goal difference. Everything happened the way that you needed for it to, and you are campeón de campeones with your beloved Universitario. Take me through the day.
Bro, first off, I got a game. I was scheduled to call a Porto game at the same time. Right? And then I was like, no, what am I going to do? And then, hey, hold on a second, guys. I'm going to switch the schedule. Nino, you go to the 5 p.m. game, the 5:30 p.m. game, and Pierre's going to do the Porto game. I was like, all right, thank you, God. Because I got to do the game from 1 to 3. And then jump on to watch the Universitario, and then the game that I was calling next was at 5:30. So it was perfect, man. It was perfect. So, and also I gotta drive to my buddy's house. I grabbed the motorcycle, brother, and I run. I'm sorry. I apologize to all the police. I run. I don't know how many red lights I run, brother.
All of them.
Like 5 or 6 red lights I run.
All of them.
I got there. It's like about 5-6 miles. I got there in 4 minutes.
Well, yeah.
In 4 minutes. I got there in 4 minutes. And we were watching the game, right? And it was 0-0 Alianza, 0-0 Universitario. And man, the time was going. And the first half over, right? Let's catch up a little bit on Alianza Lima because the game was delayed for like 2-3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw in those 2-3 minutes was like, these guys are done. These guys are done. You know, Cusco FC, which, by the way, I said they were going to decide the title in the Liga Uno, and they did. They were pushing Alianza Lima against the ropes at their own stadium, brother. At their fortress. You can't let anyone come to your house and shove you around. No. But they were doing it. Alianza Lima was so nervous, was so anxious. And because they knew that they got to score 3, 4, 5 goals, right? And then hoping for us to not score. But the thing is that we ended up the game 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
But Cusco scored for Alianza against Alianza in the 85th and the 89th minute. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye. You know, everybody was concerned about the who they were going to play. They were going to play with the under-19 team, but no, they were professional. The team that we played were professional too, and everything was right in the end, and we won the championship in the centenario year, man. And not only that, all right, 3 tournaments in a row we won. We won the Clausura last year. We won the Apertura this year. We also the Clausura this year. 3 tournaments in a row. And when you get 100% of the points, 100% of the points playing in your stadium, you deserve to win. You deserve to be the champion. And there's nothing that all the fans can do, all right? Because you have no idea. You have no idea how much hate is coming from not only from the Alianza Lima fans, but there's everyone also, the Sporting Cristal, everyone is against Universitario Deportes.
They hate you because they ain't you, man.
They hate the best team in the planet. I mean, in the country.
They hate you because as they say in the South, they hate you because they ain't you.
You know, exactly like that. And you know what's so funny, right? Because the Alianza Lima fans, they got a big ass mouth, right? They all season long, we are this, and you don't have the money because you owe the government money. We owe money, but we're paying. We've got a huge debt, but we're paying it, brother. We're paying it. Now because we got all this money and you don't have that, and the stadium is in pristine conditions, and you're all season long, right? All season long. We're going to ruin your centenario. That was their mission. Their mission was not, we want to win the championship. No. The mission was, we're going to ruin your centenario. And when you wish bad things happen to you.
ABU. Anybody but you. ABU.
You know, and I'm going to bring something else to the table here, because I think it's important. We are a band of brothers, all right, in Universitario Deportes. We are a band of brothers, and they're all united. We are all focused on the same goal. And it was funny because at the end of the game of the championship, they were asking the coach, and the coach said this, right? Everybody was hating on us all year long. Okay, I don't wish him bad. We believe in Jesus. We stay united here. We got our faith. We got faith in us, and we have faith in our Lord, and that's why we are staying together. Boom, that's it. You know, he killed him with kindness and with faith. It was spectacular, man. I love it. I love Fabian Bustos. When they hire him, I knew he was going to be the right guy for the job, because they were about to bring Farias, right? Cesar Farias, the Venezuelan, right? He won the championship with Aucas. He's too many conflicts, man. Too many conflicts. He's a trouble guy. He fought against a player in a stadium. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. He dragged a player from the opposite team to the ground, boom, with a judoka, thing, man.
Like a hip toss.
You know, you don't want that kind of guy. No. I want the guy that is focused, that is settled, that is in peace. He's wise, like Fabian Bustos. You know, everything chill, brother. Zen. We don't want that those fighting attitudes here. We don't want that. I want to be a fighter, but with the ball, I'm playing soccer. That's it.
All right. Time for the handoff and time for the topic that I know that Nino doesn't want to talk about. Time to bring in our buddy Niko Moreno from Seattle. Here we go. Fancy open. Two, three, four. Niko, as always, what cup of coffee are you on?
This is numero dos, my friend. Halfway through, cup number 2. So getting in there, feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good today. You know, it's been I don't know, a bit of a slow week because, you know, there was a separation there between games. So we got a lot out of the way on Monday, and now we're just getting ready to finish up the last round of the playoffs, of this first phase of the playoffs. So yeah, it's been a little bit slow, but happy to be here. I'll be on with Nino and, of course, John.
All right. So the handoff has to do with Nino's beloved Columbus Crew, who took it in the chops in 2 and done with Red Bulls. So, Niko, I will let you ask the Columbus Crew-based question to Nino, who is still smarting. Even though his Universitario won the title in Peru, his Columbus Crew got bounced. I will yield the floor and let you have the handoff question about Columbus to Nino.
Nino, is there a number that you would allow Cucho Hernandez to leave Columbus, or do you do whatever it is that you have to do to keep that man around and try to get you another title?
I'll try to keep Cucho at any cost, man. I will try to keep him because he has been the leader, has been the tremendous player for the club, and he's gonna be hungry for another title next season. So I would love to keep him because he's just not only he leads the team on the pitch, but he's a leader in the locker room, and that's what you need. You need that kind of player to lead you to another championship, man. That's why I want to try to keep him at any cost. We'll see what they do let's see what they do in Columbus, but I don't know if 10 mil, 15 mil coming in, it's gonna be hard to keep him.
Okay, and so let me follow that up. What about Wilfred Nancy? Is Nancy maxed out? Does he go back home to John Texter at like Lyon, sit there and go, "Yo, bruh, come home"? What about that?
No, he's gonna stay. He's gonna stay.
Okay.
He's gonna stay. Man.
All right. So what do folks need to keep an eye on with Gold TV and find out with you this weekend? What's the rundown?
It's the El Clásico. Benfica versus Porto, Stade de Luz in Lisbon, 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be a massive game. You can't miss that one. You cannot miss that one because also I'm going to be calling it. So
exactly. See, we have our priorities here. So as always, my friend, great to catch up with you, and we will see you again next week. We will talk stuff. That's the official term. Love you, my friend. Be safe, and we'll see you soon.
See you guys.
All right. That is Nino. And by the way, Niko, I got to hit a breaking news sounder because we got breaking news, and let me check my volume level. Okay, volume level's good. I got to hit this. Various sources out of Philadelphia. Jim Curtin, gone. Philadelphia Union have parted ways with Jim Curtin. The Union signed Curtin to a multi-year extension through next year. Just last season, Jim Curtin out in Philly. What do you think?
I think sometimes you can only take a team so far, and I've said this about many coaches. There is a point, there is a time, a just momentum that fades away as a coach, and it doesn't matter how good you are, how long you've been there, the titles that you've gotten before, the success that you've had with the franchise. If you cannot take a team at a certain level, the organization, the club needs to look elsewhere. And it depends on that organization, what their threshold for success is. If it is just getting to A or B, depending on where you're at, if you're San Jose, if you're Philadelphia, if you're the Seattle Sounders, there's always a threshold of was a successful season. It feels like for a long time, Philadelphia has been that second option, that team that looks so good, that provides us with all these players coming out of their system. But at the end of the day, no results, no titles, no real success to what fans and everybody in general thinks is successes, which is getting titles. And because of that, I understand the decision. No, there's not an indictment on him. You just weren't able to get over a certain hump. But at one point, club has to ask itself, what else can we do? We need to change things up. And, that makes sense.
So do you think, and this goes, kind of dovetailing into our next topic involving coaches and vacancies, Who do you think? And I'll go ahead and give you Four Card's question. Four Card wants to know who broke up with whom. Was it the front office and the ownership, Sugarman et al. Breaking up with Curtin because of what he has thinly veiled in his press conferences at points this year where there needs to be more investment? Do you think it was front office breaking up with Curtin in this case?
Yeah, I really do, because Curtin has too much pride for the organization and for his work and what he was able to accomplish. I mean, he was, regardless of whether he missed the opportunity to get into the playoffs, he was there. And there was a point where we didn't even think they were going to be in the conversation, and it was embarrassing. And they just didn't seem to be able to put two and two together. And all of a sudden, they got enough momentum to be in the conversation. So I know that he believes in this young team, and he believes in a lot of what he has built there. So I think that it was, if I had to choose and decide and guess, because I really have no inside information on it, whether it was the club finishing up the contract or vice versa, I really do think that it was the club just looking elsewhere. And if the conversation was had, maybe Curtin himself just admitted that he wasn't able to get through certain points and get the team to where they've wanted to get to, and you just move on.
Which brings me to my second coach, who is now a coach back in the league. Plus, he gets to add technical director or whatever title you want to give. Bruce Arena, according to Jeff Carlisle, back in San Jose, or back in Major League Soccer, in San Jose, dual title. Chris Leach, who was general manager, now reports to Arena, not any other way around. But Bruce Arena, back at San Jose, was apparently given assurances by the ownership group, specifically John Fisher. We will be investing. We're going to invest in players because we're 28th right now in the league, according to Spot Track, when it comes to cap. We're going to invest in infrastructure. And there were some things in the Carlisle article that stunned me that apparently San Jose didn't have already that made common sense, like a player meeting room, better facilities, better locker room. In a new stadium like PayPal Park, apparently you need to improve your locker room already, or needed to improve it from the beginning. But Bruce Arena now back, multiple titles, given the reins to bring San Jose back after a 21-point season this past year where they gave up 2 1/3 goals a match.
Yeah, I read the article. Fantastic piece, by the way. Quite honestly, it is beyond, my own understanding how a club with such a great fan base, and actually this year I've been talking to quite a few people down there from San Jose, both on the media side and on the organizational side. And man, there's the soccer community down there that is just aching because of the horror that the club has been over the last couple of years. And so with that said, it is kind of impressive that they've been able to do as much as they have with so little investment and so little resources and things that are just common sense for other clubs, or just the basics for other clubs. So when it comes to Bruce, I still don't think is a great fit. Mm-hmm. I understand that you were given all kinds of assurances, and I'm sure that Bruce is one of those coaches that you can't really lie to, because he's gonna call it in your face, and he's gonna probably throw you under the bus right in front of the media if he doesn't feel like things went as he was told. But Luchi Gonzalez was also given some reassurances that did not come through, and Almeida had a lot of problems with that front office. So excuse me if I don't trust your word, and excuse me if I'm apprehensive about you telling us and him and everyone that you're going to just change things up. Now, have they made some differences in the way they approach the seasons? Sure. And the Luis Hernan move, was it fantastic, or was it good for what you had previously invested in the past? Sure, absolutely. But I'm still very skeptical that San Jose is all of a sudden going to start spending LA Galaxy money, New England Revolution money, which is what Mr. Bruce Arena is accustomed to. So I just don't feel like it's a good fit. And as much as I understand that in soccer and in sports, we love to recycle coaches and recycle people that have done this, done that. He's 73.
Yep.
And I don't know if the way he approaches the game is a little antiquated for what MLS is today. And when we look at the coaches that have been successful as of late, is the younger coaches, is the coaches with different ideas, with different methodologies. So I don't know if this is going to be another Caleb Porter situation over there in New England, where Mr. Jokester in the staff room is going to come into in San Jose. So we'll see. I just don't think it's a very good fit.
Follow up from Tom Bogert, Tommy Scoops at Gimme Sport. He is saying that it was the union that pulled the trigger on this one. This was not Jim Curtin saying, peace out, Boy Scout, I'm done. This was the front office who gave him a deal through next season. Did not, and Jim Curtin specifically said, it was an aging roster to begin with. Yes, you do have some development with your academy and Philadelphia Union too, but this was an aging roster. Curtin had to run it back. That was the phrase. We're going to run it back one more time. And the aging roster did not run it back. They kind of stumbled and didn't even run it back. They just stumbled and ran. And now you have an ownership group that doesn't invest. And they're going to be looking for a coach. And it wouldn't surprise me, honestly. It would not surprise me one bit if Marlon LeBlanc gets promoted from Philadelphia Union 2 to be the new head coach, because A, it fits them financially, and B, it fits them philosophically. He knows everybody at the academy, and he can probably have Kevin Sullivan and whomever come up from Union 2 to be a part of things, and that relationship is already there. So I'll go ahead and say, for me, Marlon LeBlanc is going to be the leader in the clubhouse to become the new Philadelphia Union head coach and go from second team to first team. I have no information on that, but that's just my gut from what we get to see and how Philadelphia has been operating and how they don't want to invest. So to me, that means it's Marlon LeBlanc, because you've still got to pay Jim Curtin for one more year, and you give Marlon the keys. It's like, the system, the kids, you want to go ahead and rebuild it, we can give you a mix and we'll see what happens. That's just what my gut is telling me with this instant thought here with Jim Curtin gone in Philly.
Well, it's the Philadelphia thing to do. I mean, we've had, 3-4 minutes to think about it since we heard the news, and he makes all kinds of sense. The dads who would take over, who would make more sense, who would understand the identity of the team, the players that are coming up in the system, and that could potentially put this team on their back. Because again, Philadelphia is another club that is very particular in their way of doing things, and it's very unlikely that you're going to go and get a coach that is either foreign to the league or foreign to the club, and he's going to come in and be okay with everything that the Philadelphia Union do. So I would like to praise the decision. I think that a lot of clubs need to look at themselves and understand, if we can get over a certain hump and I need to put my team higher than that, I got to make some sort of change, because complacency is a highway to mediocrity. And I feel like a lot of clubs are okay with just being mediocre. Or if you had been there, done that, then all of a sudden you become a has-been, rather, than maybe I never was, but a has-been still a bad way for your club to not progress. Yeah. And in MLS today, you need to progress.
Let's get into the playoffs and the playoff series. The West is kind of staring at the East. It's like, bro, what's taking you so long? I don't know what's going on, man. We're most of our stuff's in the barn already. I want to start with your playoff series, because the announcement yesterday from Houston Dynamo about not renewing Hector Herrera for the 25 season. And the idea that the last memory that folks have of Ache is him spitting at the feet of Armando Villarreal. and it was a series that was tight. We anticipated that it would. Seattle makes it through, but now that the series is over, Houston's making roster decisions. No more Hector Herrera. From 30,000 feet, with your series being over, what sticks in your head from this particular series?
Let me just touch real quick on Hector Herrera. Is the fact that it's no surprise to me that they are not going to keep that huge salary when you've really had one impressive season, which was last year, in my opinion. It was the one season that Hector Herrera seemed to have it all put together. The physical part, the psychological, the mentality, the way that the team gravitated towards him. He didn't have a bad one this year, but injuries, I think, handicap a lot of what he could have done for this team in general senses. But that attitude, that childish moment that he had, that unprofessional moment of a guy that's had over 200 career games in Europe, that is a Mexican team legend, that is a Mexican team player today, and someone who should know better in that specific moment. It is a shame. It is a shame that this is the way he goes out, and he lets his team down, he lets the franchise down, he lets himself down. So hopefully Hector Herrera can find another team, another path, and reflect on the irregular time he had in MLS. And if he stays in MLS in Houston. When it comes to the series, I just think that Houston couldn't get out their own way. Yeah. They couldn't get out of their own way. It's that simple. I feel for Ben Olsen because I feel like he had a lot of belief in this team, and the team didn't let him execute the game plan that he wanted. Seattle in that second game was very fortunate, and Stephen Fry was fantastic when his name was called upon, when his number was needed. 3 huge saves. But I thought that even with 10 men, the Houston Dynamo were executing the game plan better than the Seattle Sounders executed their game plan. I'm not sitting here telling you that Houston was brilliant or so much better than the Sounders, but if I had to choose, and I've watched that game over 3 times now, which team executed the game plan better, it has to be Houston. Yeah. I think that Brian Smetzer set up the team not poorly, but maybe
incorrectly.
Incorrectly. I like that. Incorrectly. I just don't understand how you move Christian to the 10, because you're making 2 changes, right? You're putting a player that had been doing so well at holding midfield into a creative position that whether he has played it in the past or not is irrelevant. He hasn't played it this year, and you kind of exposed him because he did not look good. Christian Roldan gets the goal, but he was not effective. He was a little bit lost. He was too far, too deep, too far down where he's supposed to be. When you had a player like Danny Leyva that you had been putting in for Albert Rusnak, you had told us, Brian Smetzer, that you were putting in Danny Leyva for Albert Rusnak. He's a guy that has all those attributes of a 10. He's actually Danny Leyva has all the attributes of a player that's in extinction, that is no longer in our soccer world, that's dying with time, which is that Riquelme, Valderrama, Quao, that type of 10 we don't really have anymore. That's what Danny Leyva is. He's a guy with vision, with fantastic passing skills, with an IQ that's fantastic. He comes in and makes a difference. As soon as he comes in, he makes a difference. When he gets pulled off, when the change gets put in, he goes to the 10, and Christian Roldan drops to holding midfield. That's when Seattle starts to cook. That's when Seattle starts to mesh. So the fact that Seattle had so many issues with them, their own way of setting up this game, does concern me. They're still a very anemic team offensively. And if you can't find goals, I really do believe that defenses win championships is a thing of the past. And I know everybody loves to say it in every sport, and it's the biggest cliche in sports. In the MLS of old, maybe. In this new MLS, baby, you got to bring it. You got to be able to go and give me a game. So because of that, I think Seattle continue the same path of inconsistencies, limitations, and concerns we've had since January. So it was a very even match. I think it came down to the little things. Seattle did more. Credit to Seattle. Credit to those penalty kick shooters that were fantastic. But man, oh man, there's a lot of work to do if Seattle wants to get anywhere close to a conference final.
And it's going to have to be against either the winner of either Vancouver and LAFC that you get to watch. But I know that a lot of folks are probably rooting for Vanni Sartini and the Caps to take out LAFC like they did in Game 2 of that series.
Oh yeah, at least folks here in Seattle, man. Everybody put their white caps on. I mean, it's really
you get that home game, brother. That's what you're hunting for.
Absolutely. Is it going to happen? Is it a long shot? Absolutely. Do you feel like it's more possible today than you did, a couple of weeks ago? Yeah. I mean, if Ryan Gold can continue to be the Scottish Messi for this team and just doing all kinds of wonders on the pitch, man, then, I guess sky's the limit. But I do think that Steve Cherundolo will figure it out. I think that there's two things that have hindered LAFC. And again, this is just Nico Moreno. I am no coach. I am no Steve. I have never coached anything other than my kids in rec soccer. But when I look at the game and I try to give my idea of the players that are in the roster, I feel like Tillman and O'Brien are too similar. And they play at one specific pace, and there's nobody to hold that ball and give you pause and provide you with a little bit of possession. So for me, Ilie or Atuesta need to be on the field to be in control of that game. And I think that's a change that Steve would make. And the other one, call me crazy, but I've told you guys over and over again, Giroud has not been good. And as much as he's very talented, and as much as he's scored,
and very pretty,
I would love to have that, beautiful hair on me, and that, the striking frame for all my, 5'4" self. I would love to have that frame, but the reality is that he hasn't been good, and there's a lack of chemistry. There's a lack of pressing, of trigger moments that he doesn't quite see. So for me, a guy like Kai Kamara right off the bat would really put Vancouver on their high heels, and I think that's what you want. So to me, the changes are there, the tools are there, and I think that Steve will figure it out and take this game in Los Angeles.
Minus 172 in the juice boxes, by the way. Vancouver's north of plus 410.
Don't take that.
No,
don't take that.
Stay away. The other half is LAG and Minnesota making it through. So Minnesota gets to go to Dignity Health Sports Park and go hang out with our buddy Joe Totino for that one. In the next round, they're going to kind of wait and everything. Diego Luna, by the way, was named Young Player of the Year. That just came out a couple of minutes ago. So big honors at RSL. Eastern Conference, before we get you out of here. Atlanta United, FEA, blank them all. They get to force a Game 3 at the Erector set in Fort Lauderdale. You're getting a big sip of the coffee. I see where this is going. Game 3 in the Eastern Conference seems to be a thing where after talking Columbus and Red Bulls, all the other are threes. Game 3, Messi and Friends, Atlanta United. Game 3, Purple Team and Charlotte. Game 3, Cincinnati and NYC, all on Saturday.
Look, man, let's start with the big one, and it's Miami-Atlanta, and I think that's the one we're all going to be watching regardless of what's going on with our day. I know I will. And let me tell you this. It is unlikely, and everybody would be shocked. And I'm going to sit here and tell you that when I break down the game, regardless of the liability that the fullbacks for Inter Miami are and the huge problems they have on defense, I think that their when you have Messi on the other side on a elimination game like this one, you have to take Messi and friends. But I hope, and I put that Atlanta jersey on because, man, oh man, did they give them hell in the last game. And just seeing the way they played that game and, seeing Garth and Blank just go crazy after the Sean De Silva goal in the press box just gave me goosebumps, baby. And I'm all for the Atlanta fans to dream big and get this game, man. I really do. It's going to be difficult. I think it's going to take a lot of Saba, who sacrificed his body and his play and everything in the last game, playing the way he did, the position that he played. But baby, when it's Saba time, it's Saba time. And I think Shonda needs to be that Shonda that's decisive, that takes on players, that is going to stretch that Inter Miami defense, that's going to make Wujat try to defend, that won't let him get so forward. On the other side, again, Saba, he talked about how difficult it is to cover Jordy. You got to make him defend. You got to make him chase you. So all in all, I think Inter Miami will take it, but I'm all in on Atlanta. I really hope that they take this game. The other two are a little bit more simple in a certain regard, because I feel like you know what you're going to get. You don't know who's going to get the result, but you know what you're going to get. Specifically, Charlotte, Orlando. I still take Orlando to go through because I believe in the talent. I believe in the game changers. But Oscar Pareja is going to have to do some serious video study of what went wrong in the last game. Because Charlotte, let me tell you, they erased you from the map, Orlando. That first half, 0 shots on goal. They put Ojeda in a jail cell that he was never able to come out of. Facundo Torres was irrelevant. There was no services to the 9. Charlotte did a wonderful job completely eliminating Orlando from that pitch. And if that happens again, they're going to have a real hard time, whether he's at home or not, because the thing about being at home is that the more time that goes by, the more air that runs out of that stadium, and it becomes pressure. So because of that, I think that Orlando is going to want to take care of this real early, get in there with all the intensity possible in order to at least get one in the first half. Because if you go into the second half at 0-0, it's going to be a difficult night for Orlando. But I do think Orlando will end up doing it. Cincinnati, New York City, that one, you really don't know what you're going to get out of these teams. They're both very inconsistent, erratic. You don't know what you're going to get ever out of either one of these teams. Yeah. I think at home, I got to give it to Cincinnati. But New York, they showed us in the last game that they have the talent, that they have the tools, that they can definitely break down Cincinnati. But I think at home, I got to give it to the home team.
Understood. Both home sides were minus 119, FC Cincinnati and Orlando City. So purple team and FCC, both minus 119. The visitors, NYC, is a plus 290. Charlotte is a plus 300. The 90-minute draw for Cincinnati and NYC is a plus 282. 90-minute draw for purple team and Charlotte is a plus 274. Inter Miami, I think probably because the juice boxers were probably just a little lazy. They took the minus 119 and doubled it because that's what Inter Miami is right now. Messi and friends are minus 238. 90-minute draw is a plus 401. Atlanta, a plus 543 in the composite.
Oh, hey, just for fun, I might just throw something in there. Just for fun. I mean, it's not going anywhere, but just because I really am putting that Atlanta United jersey when it comes to that game, I might just throw some dollar bills in there. For Orlando Charlotte, what's the tie? What's the draw?
All right, hang on just a second. It was in the plus 280s. Let me double check to see if it has shifted. So let's get into Orlando and Charlotte 90-minute draw plus 274 in the composite.
Yeah, that might be a good one too. I mean, look, the adjustments that Smith made for this game were very good. Ajiman instead of Carroll, Dejani instead of Urso. I think both of those were really good. I thought Vargas was excellent. Defensively, when it comes to that shape, I feel like they really wore down Orlando. So that one could go into PKs, and it'd be interesting if it goes. So I might take that draw. And when it comes to Cincinnati, what's their numbers?
FC Cincinnati a minus 119.
Oh, yeah. Nope.
90-minute draw plus 282. And New York City FC a plus 290.
I want none of that. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult one this time around. You might want to go with some parlays in this one, or just who to score. That's been really friendly for me when it comes to the juice boxes. I've hit those pretty consistently. So yeah, I've been doing all right on the juice box. I'll tell you that.
As you should. So what is coming up with Soccer Bar and Pulso Sports? Hit me.
Soccer Bar, we're going to break this down. We're going to talk about Bruce Arena very deeply into what he could do. What is the idea there in San Jose? We're going to talk about some of these matchups. How can LAFC prevent a Columbus Crew situation on their end? Because it would be another big blow. Miami, we're going to have Redondo. We heard from Redondo, so we're going to have him on, of course, in this one, talking about a difficult matchup against Atlanta. So go ahead and check that out. And then today, that's going to be in Soccer Bar here in about an hour. And then in Pulso Sports, we'll be at the training facilities. We'll talk to Brian Smetzer. There is some press conference for the rain. We'll try to get there and have that on at Pulso Sports as well. But yeah, go ahead and check it out.
What he said. As always, my friend, it's great to see you during Cup number 2 out on the West Coast. It is 8:12 in the morning. Be safe. Have great broadcast. Enjoy Providence Swedish and the rain and the NWSL and all of the above. We will see you next week where we get to talk about one and dones. The opening rounds of 3. They'll be out the door, and it's one and dones from now on. Be safe, my friend. Love you very much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, John. Take it easy.
All right. That's Niko. And so Niko is out the door because he's kind of busy and stuff. So we'll get into that coming up in a bit. Okay. Mention juice boxes before we get out of here, because it is a Europa League Conference League day. And it is, we'll start with Europa League. We got all of them at 12:45, 3, 6, 9 at 12:45. Bodo Glimt a favorite against Karabag at a minus 145. Eintracht Frankfurt just under even money, a minus 101 against Slavia Prague. Braga, a road favorite at a plus 104 against Elfsberg at a plus 254. Midtjylland a plus 139 on the road at FCSB. Galatasaray, slight home favorite going up against Spurs at a plus 143. Spurs are a plus 170. Draws a plus 290. At Bilbao, favored at a minus 137. At Ludogorets at a plus 436. Nice, minus 132, hosting FC Twente. Olympiacos, minus 123, hosting Rangers at a plus 350. And then the last 12:45, Roma, a plus 143, going up against Royal Union at a plus 212. 3 o'clocks. Ajax, a minus 333 against Maccabi Tel Aviv, who's a plus 880. AZ Alkmaar, a home dog against Fenerbahce at a plus 142. It will be interesting to see how Jose Mourinho attacks this game. Dinamo Kyiv favored at home, a plus 144, wherever home is, against Ferencváros at a plus 211. Hoffenheim, a home dog against Lyon at a plus 131. Hoffenheim, a plus 190. Lazio, favored at home, a plus 192 against Porto at a plus 196. Manchester United, favored at home, a minus 476 for Ruud van Nistelrooy, going up against PAOK, a plus 1228 in the composite. Real Sociedad, a minus 103 at Victoria Pilsen, a plus 320. Anderlecht, a minus 133, going up against RFS at a plus 361. Conference League, 9 at 12:45, 9 at 3 o'clock. It's 3, 6, 7 at 12:45, 1 already going on, and then the rest at 3 o'clock. Vikinga Reykjavik leading Boruc Banja Luka at a plus 102, 2-0, handful of minutes to go. 12:45s. Ghent favored minus 130 against Omonia Cyprus. Ljubljana minus 102 at HJK. Legia Warsaw minus 238 hosting Dinamo Minsk at a plus 711. Paphos a minus 435 hosting Astana at a plus 1237. SK Rapid Vienna minus 357, hosting at Petro Cuba a plus 924. Shamrock Rovers a minus 123 against our friends from like the 5th division in the Welsh Pyramid, TNS. The New Saints at a plus 359. And last at 12:45, Lugano a minus 167 at TSC, a plus 432. 3 o'clocks. Fiorentina minus 147 at Apoel Nicosia. Betis minus 500 hosting Celje. Chelsea basically off the board against Noah at a minus 33-33. Panathinaikos plus 116 at Djurgården. FC Copenhagen minus 196 at hosting Başakşehir, who's north of plus 540. Hearts plus 206 at home hosting Heidenheim. Molde plus 127 at Jagiellonia at a plus 204. Larna plus 624 hosting St. Gallen at a minus 256. Lusk a minus 106 hosting Cercle Bruges at plus 292. And Victoria Guimarães a minus 345 hosting Mlada Boleslav at a plus 909. You can catch all of that on Paramount Plus. I think that's it for today. When we come back tomorrow, we'll talk about all the stuff, all the fallout, arena in, curtain out, and we'll see what else happens with teams and their offseason decisions. We're going from here. At practice for Atlanta United had a boatload of call-ups in the international window. It is Lobjanidze called up, Sleesh called up, Gregerson called up, Stian Gregerson at the start of training today around for Atlanta United. Keep an eye on that. And once again, quoting in a statement from Philadelphia Union, following the 2024 season, we recognize the need for a change. This has been a difficult decision due in part to the immense gratitude and respect we have for him, quoting both Ernst Tanner and Jay Sugarman from Philadelphia Union. And so, according to Jonathan Tannenwald, the Philadelphia Inquirer, I have some phone calls to make, but I don't think insubordination per se is what did it. That's quoting Jonathan Tannenwald. So that's the rundown. Curtain out, arena in. Diego Luna awarded Young Player of the Year. Ache gone. No option year for 2025 for Houston Dynamo. So be back at it again tomorrow, a little less than 22. We'll talk about everything, getting you ready for the weekend. Hopefully catch up from our friends at Beyond Goals at 9:30. See where in the world Jessica Charman may be if we catch up with her in an airport. Get you ready, a weekend whip around, and figure out what's going on as we get you ready for MLS Next Pro Cup Final, Philadelphia Union and North Texas SC, and that one is at Toyota on the weekend. All the playoffs, all the odds, getting you ready for Atlanta and Inter Miami on the weekend. Jason probably will join us at 10:30 to discuss what's going on from what he and Maddie have seen at the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta training ground all week long. That's a show. Back at it again. Once again, thanks to all of you guys for hanging out with us as you always do. And we'll be back at it again tomorrow. Mucha plati, I'll play it safe. And since it is the end of the show, that means I get to do this. Once again, back at it again, 9:05 Eastern time tomorrow morning. Play it safe. Stay healthy. Be safe. Stay well. Be healthy. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.